Hello everybody, welcome back, episode 13. So, just going through the last couple of episodes, and we were very much building up to the MRI scan and talking to the wife very much about what's going to happen if it was in the bone, and that was specifically why we were having the MRI scan. So through other scans and other biopsies, we were already built that picture up of what was happening. The cancer had made its way out of the prostate. It was affecting other areas, but the concern was very much about it was literally on the bone. So the MRI would give the answers as to how aggressive this cancer was. And we'd already established it was a 3.5. So we had the confirmation of the booking. I went up to the hospital, had the scan, and I'm just going to come right out with it. A few days later, and I can't remember if it was a specific phone call from my cancer specialist or I had written confirmation. The results were that it hadn't gone into the bone. Now, the relief that I felt was undescribable, because it sent me in a direction from I believe I was going, and it slammed the brakes on and turned a different way. And it was very much about now I could start to take on that very positive role, albeit I was already positive, but I still had that unanswered question. Because once it's in the bone, you know, you have a completely different treatment plan. So now the confirmation had been given to us, and I remember, you know, I phoned my wife. First person I phoned was my wife, and she was at work, bless her. And I told her it wasn't in the bone, and all I can remember her was breaking down in tears. Now, to hear your wife break down in tears is something. It's an overwhelming sense of love for another person, because all you want to do is go and hold that person and say it's okay, it's going to be all right, everything's now on the right course. Although you still have a huge journey to go. I mean, they call it a journey because it is a journey, but it's a journey that you're in control of now. Obviously, with your treatment plan, with the other things that were coming up. You know, don't get me wrong. You still have cancer, and they still have to manage that cancer. But it's another step. What was in the right direction. So, my wife, bless her, you know, that outpouring of emotion or relief was part of the healing process as well for us, because we both had gone through this absolute roller coaster since the diagnosis in early summer. And bear in mind, we've moved forward 3 months, and now we had that release of it's not in the bone. We literally switched over into now focusing on what the future, you know, was going to be. And that future was very much about the treatment plan, the testosterone blockers. Now, after the testosterone blockers were reducing the cancer or putting it in, suppressing it and putting it into a dormant state, it will then be radiotherapy. Now that's a whole different journey, you know, and that wasn't going to be until, you know, at the earliest, January. So the realistic approach to this was, now we could plan. You know, we were going to make things become a positive rather than negative. Yes, I still had the cancer, but it was, again, now moving past that, you know, possible terminal state into now just let's get on with it. We know what the testosterone is going to do. We know that the radiotherapy is going to be like, and we know we're going to have to, or I'm going to have to keep on with these testosterone blockers for a further, you know, 2-3 years, you know, even longer, because it was a very aggressive cancer. It hadn't been removed, or it wouldn't be removed. The prostate wasn't going to be removed. So the only option I had was to go through that quite lengthy process of suppressing the cancer, reducing it, and making sure that the radiotherapy can target the cancer and kill off as much as possible. So anyway, the whole relief had now, you know, come across as, I told my oldest son, you know, he's at university and I didn't want to disrupt his studies, but he was relieved, and he dealt with it the way he does. My youngest, you know, we hadn't fully explained what was going on, but he knew Dad was going up to the hospital and doing certain things. And we told a few other people, and that was it. We were still very much in that, you know, process of just telling a small circle of people. So I'm not going to go too much into what came next. We'll leave that to the next one. But thank you for joining me. It's always a great pleasure to tell this story, and I hope people are being able to make a little comparison to what my journey is and to what their journey is. So thanks again. Bye for now, and I'll see you on episode 14. Bye bye.